What's up, everybody? It's me, your boy G the Predicament, back with another episode of Coaster Cast. We are talking about our favorite coasters of 2023 since we just wrapped up 2023 and we're heading for. Thought we just take a moment to reflect on what my top coasters were from last year. Without further ado, hey, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's go. And first, we're gonna go with my favorite B&M invert, or just I guess overall my favorite inverted coaster, which is Banshee at Kings Island. Banshee is pretty much widely recognized by most coaster enthusiasts as the best B&M invert. Still holds the record for the longest B&M invert. Also believe it is the fastest as well, coming in at 68 miles an hour. 167 feet tall, 150 foot drop, 7 inversions. Banshee does not let up. The inversions on Banshee are just overall just intense. And there's no mid-course brake run, so this ride does not let up from start to finish. Need to get down to Kings Island. It is not my home park, but it is pretty close to me, so I try to frequent there a few times a year. Quite a few other YouTubers place Kings Island as their top regional park in the U.S. As you'll see as we get to my next coaster, there are a few more coasters of Kings Island that are actually on my list. We'll go ahead and knock those out now since we're already at Kings Island. Next on the list is Mystic Timbers. Is a GCI wooden coaster. Also, again, Kings Island has gotten pretty lucky. Banshee is considered the best invert. Mystic Timbers is considered the best GCI wooden coaster. And also, when we get to our next one, we'll have another coaster that is favorited by enthusiasts, I guess you'll say. But Mystic Timbers is another one of those coasters. There's no mid-course brake run. From lift hill to the final breaks in the shed, this coaster is just wild. It's out of control, able to exert forces without being uncomfortable. It's not the tallest and fastest coaster at Kings Island, but it's one of the most popular. You don't have to be the biggest, tallest, and fastest to be the best. So again, another reason to put Kings Island so high on the list of a lot of coaster enthusiasts. They just have an overall great lineup with a great top 4. Next on the list, also again at Kings Island, is Diamondback. Built by B&M, is a B&M hyper coaster. Again, it's one of these coasters that is considered to be one of the best of its type. There are a few people who prefer Mako at SeaWorld over Diamondback, but personally for me, Diamondback is the one. Diamondback opened in 2009. As the tallest and fastest and longest roller coaster at Kings Island, at a height of 230 feet, 80 miles an hour. Again, that trio of Banshee, Mystic Timbers, and Diamondback are definitely a reason to get over to Kings Island. They also have a great supporting cast of coasters with Flight of Fear and Backlot Stunt Coaster, 2 launch coasters, premier rides. They also have, again, Orion, B&M Giga Coaster, and the legendary Beast Coaster built in-house by Kings Island, which still holds the record for the longest wooden coaster in the world at over 7,000 feet. All right, for our next coaster, we'll be heading over to Hershey Park in Hershey, Pennsylvania for Skyrush. Skyrush is one of those coasters that is very, it divides a lot of people's opinions. The coaster has a great layout. It's made by Intamin. It's an Intamin hyper coaster. A lot of low to the ground element, or a lot of G forces, a lot of quick turns, and things like that. Skyrush has gotten a lot of backlash though for its restraints. It even earned the nickname Thigh Crush amongst some park goers. And honestly, the general public has adopted that same mentality towards that coaster. Hershey actually built a second hyper coaster, one from B&M, who is known for having a lot more smooth and experience that is more comfortable for the general public. There are rumors that for 2024, Skyrush will be receiving new restraints for the trains from Intamin. So I think that if that happens, we'll see a big change at Hershey Park, and we'll see Skyrush receive a lot more love and attention from the general public because overall it is a great coaster. And next up, we'll be heading over to Cedar Point, my home park, park that I frequented all my life. It used to be hard for me to make lists like this and not feel like I was being biased because as a coaster enthusiast, of course, Cedar Point is like a coaster enthusiast dream. Cedar Point was always known during the 80s and 90s, I guess even into the early 2000s, for being the trendsetter and always pushing the envelope and going bigger, taller, faster, wanting to break records with almost every coaster installation. So most of the coasters at Cedar Point, when they debuted, they were a record holder of some type. They've had a lot of record holders over the years. Just a few notable ones are Millennium Force, Top Thrill Dragster, Wicked Twister, Valravn held 10 records when it opened. It was pretty hard to pull just two coasters, Cedar Point. But of course, I had to go with Maverick. Maverick opened in 2007 by Intamin. Maverick has proven that, again, you don't have to be the tallest and fastest to be the best. Maverick is just great at what it does. Maverick offers two launches. Second launch out of pitch black tunnel at 70 miles an hour into airtime. It has inversions, it has quick turns, it has great laterals. Maverick just does it all, and it's great at everything that it does. Uh, Maverick should be on anyone's top 10 list, especially if you've gotten a night ride. Sticking with the theme of Intamin, since Skyrush was Intamin and Maverick was Intamin, we're gonna go over to Sister Park, Kings Dominion, for Intimidator 305. Now, this is another coaster just like Skyrush. It divides the coaster community. Um, Intimidator 305 opened 10 years after Millennium Force, made by the same company, Intamin, that made Millennium Force, but there's a huge contrast between those two coasters. Whenever you go to Cedar Point, Millennium Force will always have a line. Whenever you go to King's Dominion, Intimidator 305 is almost always a walk-on. Reason being, it has been criticized for being a little too intense. This coaster was actually reprofiled from its original design to lower the amount of people that suffered from gray out or blackout during some of the higher G-force moments. Um, Again, I'm someone that I like more intense coasters, so my favorite Giga is right there at King's Dominion. It is I-305. And rounding out the last coaster of my favorites is, of course, Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. Steel Vengeance, or Steve as we call it, has been at the top of most enthusiast lists since it debuted in 2018. Track length of 5,740 feet, 205 feet tall, 200-foot drop at 90 degrees, and 4 inversions. It's just completely crazy, just intense, just balls to the wall from the first drop into the brakes. Uh, it is absolutely the best coaster at Cedar, probably the best coaster in the world. So, um, as you can tell from my list, even though both of these parks are pretty close to me regionally, Cedar Point and Kings Island, you're just pretty lucky if you live in the Midwest, man. If you can get out to Ohio and you can find a way to make 2 days and spend 1 day in each of these parks, you'll ride some of the best coasters in the world. A lot of people would argue Florida is the better place to go for coasters, but besides Iron Gwazi being a hyper and having Mako at SeaWorld, Florida coasters aren't known for being the tallest and fastest of their kind. They're more known for having more theming, and they're more about the experience themselves. But our regional parks are known for competing against those get around parks by, instead of going with theming, they've went for, you know, better coasters, taller, faster, longer coaster experiences. So here we go. That rounds out my favorite coasters from 2023. I believe it was just 7 there. Again, I tried to pick a few different coaster types. I didn't want to pick, you know, all RMCs or all B&Ms or all Intamin. I wanted to mix up the list a little bit and include a few different coaster manufacturers. So there's that. So again, that was just me going over my favorite coasters of 2023. It wasn't a full list. I didn't want to go a full 20 coasters, not even a full 10. Just wanted to go over some of my favorite coasters as of the end of 2023 as we move into 2024. And we will be going over all of the upcoming 2024 coasters that we look forward to riding as the coaster season approaches. So look for that video to be coming up soon, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.